Alrighty, welcome. So today we are going to go through about how to solve quadratic equations using the completing square method. As a small start, when we are solving a quadratic equation, the general rule of quadratics or general equation of quadratics looks like ax square plus bx plus c equals 0 format, right? So we need to make sure that the format is looking like this, where there's an x square term and an x term and a constant term. Then, to complete the square, yeah, once once we are done with completing square, remember this a value, no problem. It will be just the a value here. But then it will look like x minus h close bracket square with a plus k equals 0. Now, I will be teaching you how to get this h value and the k value, yeah, and complete the square. Once you complete the square, it's going to be very simple. Yeah, all you need to do is then make this x the subject, and once you make it the subject, you are already done with, yeah, solving the equation. For the start, let's do a small trinomial factorization question and check whether the same answer could be obtained, yeah, using the completing square method, because this completing square method can help you to factorize even irrational answers. Also it will be able, or also it will help you to factorize and solve, yeah, rational answers as well, or to get the rational solutions. So for the start, let's say that we got an equation which looks like x square plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Yep. Now we know definitely if we wanted to factorize it using trinomials, we will think about, what are the two numbers which will add up to a positive 6, the value in front of x? But also you will think, what are the two numbers that those two numbers, yeah, should be able to multiply and become the value of the coefficient of x square and the constant, which is the product of them is, this is a 1, right? 1 times by 8, which is a 8. So which two numbers will make a multiple of 8? When you multiply them, it becomes a 8, but when you add them up, it becomes a 6. Definitely, we know those two numbers are like, think about factors of 8, 1 and 8. No, that doesn't help us. 2 and a 4, yes, that is what's going to help us. Yeah, so it will look like x square and here a positive 2x and a positive 4x and a positive 8 equals 0. And then we will take, yeah, we will do factorizing using binomials, yeah, or group factorizations, yeah, and get the factors done. So let's do it. Between x square and 2x, we can take a x out, and that will give us x plus 2. Between 4x and 8, you can take a positive 4 out, and that will also give you a x plus 2, and that's equal to 0. So now we can see common factors. We can take those two common factors out, and that will give us x plus 2 here, and the non-brackets, which is this x and this plus 4, will come down. And then we can use the null factor law. Null factor law. What did null factor law say? Yeah, if two things are multiplying together, yeah, we can see these two x plus 2 and x plus 4 multiplies together. Then either one of them are equal to 0 or both of them are equal to 0. That means either x plus 2 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0, where you will get this plus 2 goes to other side as minus 2. We will get x equals negative 2, or this plus 4 will go to other side as minus 4, and that will give us x is equal to negative 4. But this is not completing square method, right? This is trinomial factorization. Let's check using this completing square method, yeah, whether we can obtain the same answer, which is negative 2 and negative 4. Yep. So let's write down the question again. Yep. So let's say that we got a x square plus 6x plus 8 equal to 0. To do complete in square method, these are the things which you need to remember. The first step will be, sorry about that, the first step will be, if there is any type of a value in front of x square, you take it out. But luckily in this case, here, the x square is a monic. Yeah, there's only just a 1 in front of it. We don't have to worry about it. Then the next step is going to be, yeah, you're going to open a bracket, bring the x square down as a x. Then this plus, it comes just as it is. So if it is a plus, it comes out as a plus. Then we got this number, right? The number in front of the x, or the coefficient in front of the x, will come down as the divide by 2 version of it, or the half of it. Yeah, write down the coefficient in front of x as the half of it. So what is the half of 6? That's a 3. So we write a 3. As soon as you do it, you close the bracket, put a square on the top. You close the bracket and you put a square on the top. Yep. And then always, it's going to be a minus here, and write down the square of this number. Write down the square of this number. What is the square of 3? That's a 9. Then after that, we will just write down this number here. 8 equals 0. So it's all about working with the x square term and x term and getting the things sorted out. And after that, we just write down the rest. Yeah. Then our next step is going to be solve these two numbers. Yeah. Or like simplify, not solving it. Simplify these two numbers. -9 and a -8. Positive 8 will be a -1. So we will get x plus 3 to the whole square with a -1 equals 0. This is complete square. We just completed the square. Yeah. Now all you need to do is make x the subject, or x alone. To make this x alone, what should we do? Ask this -1 to come to other side as a +1. Then we will get x plus 3 to the whole square is equal to just a 1. Yep. And then the square, remember, very important. Yeah. Star mark we can put it. Yeah. Square will come to other side as plus or minus square root. Square will come to other side as a plus or minus square root. So then we will get x plus 3 is equal to what? The square comes to other side as a plus or minus square root of 1. Then this plus 3 will come to other side as a minus 3, and we will get x is equal to -3 plus or minus square root of 1. We already know the value. What is the square root of 1? It's just a 1, right? So we will just write a 1 there. Then we will get two answers. The two answers which we are going to get are either x is equal to the positive moment and the negative moment. Yeah, either x is equal to -3 plus 1, or x is equal to -3 minus 1. So we will get x is equal to -3 plus 1 is a -2. Or x is equal to -3 minus 1 is -4. Look at that. We didn't even think about two numbers. We didn't think about anything. We just followed the complete in square method and got our answers or the solutions done pretty easily. Yeah, it's a little bit of steps. I know that. But once you remember it, it's going to be almost like your best friend. Yeah. So let's have a recap about what we had to do. First thing, if there was a value in front of x square, we will take them out as a big bracket. But luckily there was nothing. Yeah. The x square, we open, the next step, we open a bracket. X square comes down as a x. The plus or minus whatever is there will come down as it is. Whatever the number in front of x or the coefficient of x, you half it and write it down. So 6 came down as a 3. You close the bracket, and you put a square. And then after that, you wrote a minus. Always this is a minus. And then square this number and write it. So 3 square was a 9. And then whatever the number of the constant and the rest of the things, or equal 0 in this case. Then after that, yep, what we need to do is, yep, so x plus 3 square, then minus 9 and a plus 8. Minus 9 and a plus 8 will be a negative 1. Yep. And that negative 1 comes to other side as a positive 1. Yep. And then square comes to other side as a plus or minus square root. And then the plus 3 comes to the side as minus 3. And then we will write down x equals, yeah, negative 3 plus or minus 1. So we will think about the positive movement of this plus or minus and the negative movement of this plus or minus and get our solutions done. Yep. But yeah, the questions which we are going to face in an exam or in school sometimes, yeah, are not as much as easy as this is, because if it is easy, why should we worry about doing this method? We should have worried about using the trinomial factorization, right? So let's have a look about a question which can be in the exam level time. Alrighty, let's say that we got a question like x square minus 5x and a negative 3 equals 0. Yep. So what should we do first? There's no number in front of x square, so that's all good. We can go to the next step. Yeah, we open a bracket, x squared comes down as x. This minus whatever it is, it comes down as it is. This number, we half it and we write it down. So what is the half of a 5? 5 over 2. Don't go for decimal places unless or otherwise they ask you to do that like that. Keep it as fractions, and also improper fractions. Simplified fractions are more than enough. Yeah, and then we close the bracket. As soon as you do it, you put a square. And then always after closing the bracket and putting the square, it's always a minus. It's always a minus, no matter whether this is a positive or negative. This is always a minus. And then we square this guy. What is 5 square? That's a 25. What is 2 square? That's a 4. Now, as I said, if you all can remember, I told you all to write negative 3 equals 0 straight away. But let's be a little bit of a person who thinks forward. Yeah, we definitely know at the next step after that will be simplifying this negative 25 over 4 and the negative 3 together. So write in a negative 3 or just a whole number with a fraction. Then we have to do another step to do what? Make the denominator same. So rather than writing like that, we can write down negative 3 means what? Negative 3 means negative 3 over 1. But we want a denominator of a 4. That means let's multiply up and down by 4 and write it as negative 12 over 4. So negative 3, I will write it as negative 12 over 4 equals 0. Then let's simplify this thing and write that value. So we will get x minus 5 over 2 square. Yeah, negative 25 and a negative 12. That will be a negative 27 over 4. Negative 27 over 4. All good till there? Oh, I mean 37. My mistake. Almost I was going to get it wrong. Yep. Negative 25 and negative 12 is negative 37, isn't it? Not negative 27, it's negative 37. Then that's equal to 0. Don't forget that. We have to keep on writing equals 0 all the time. Then this negative 37 over 4 will come to other side as a positive 37 over 4. So we will get x minus 5 over 2 square is equal to positive 37 over 4. Always remember what is the main star point I wrote with y'all. Yeah, we wrote down that square comes to other side as a plus or minus square root. So x would be equal to x minus 5 over 2. Actually, we don't need to write the bracket anymore because square goes to other side. Yeah, will be equal to square root of plus or minus 37 over 4. Then this minus 5 over 2 will come to other side as a positive 5 over 2. That will give us x is equal to positive 5 over 2 plus or minus square root of 37. But we know the square root of 4. That's a 2, isn't it? So I'm not going to write the square root all the way down. I'm just going to do the vinculum or the fractional line and put a 2 there. We don't want to keep on writing square root of 4 all the time because we know that value. Yeah. Then we can write the positive movement, negative movement. We can also see that the both denominators are same, so we can write it as a one denominator. Yeah. So the answers of x, when it is positive, it will be 5 plus square root of 37 over 2, or x is equal to 5 minus square root of 37 over 2. That's how we do a question like this. If we can simplify this, sir, that would be perfect. But unfortunately, yeah, 37 is already a prime number. We can't simplify that. So let it be like that. Don't worry about it much. Yeah. Let's go to our next question. Let's do another question. Yeah. So let's say that we got a x square minus 10x, yeah, is equal to 120. Now, does it look like a quadratic equation? Not really. Why? Ax square plus bx plus c, right? The c is in the other side, equals 0. That when 0 is not there, so probably we might have to make it look like that. So that means this positive 120, I might have to ask him to, hey, Mr. 120, come to other side as a negative 120. Yeah. And that will give us x square minus 10x minus 120 equal to 0. Is there any number in front of x square? No, right? So what we need to do is, yep, if there's no number in front of x square, let's pretty much take start to do the process. Open the bracket as usual. X square comes down as x, yeah, minus 10 minus will come down, then the 10, always the half of it. Half of 10 will be a 5. As soon as you do it, you close the bracket, put a square, then always a minus, and the square of this 5. Square of the 5 is going to be 25, and then the 120 comes down equals to 0. Then we get x minus 5 square, negative 120, and a negative 25 will be negative 145 equals to 0. Now let's think about whether what we need to do. Oh, we need, now this is already a complete square. Then what can we do? In this complete square, yeah, this negative 145 will come to other side as a positive 145. So x minus 5 over 2 will be equal to 145. Square comes to other side as plus or minus square root. And that will give us x minus 5. Yeah, x minus 5 by itself. Yeah. X minus 5 is equal to plus or minus square root of 145. Can we make 145 into a surd? Let me think about it. 145 means 5 times by 29, isn't it? Yeah, 5 times by 29. No, 29 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number. We can't make any groups or any square numbers out of that. So that's it. We can't simplify that. Let the negative 5 goes to other side as a positive 5. And that will give us x is equal to 5 plus or minus square root of 145. Where we will get either x is equal to 5 plus square root of 145, or x is equal to 5 minus square root of 145. Those are the two solutions we have here. Then after that, the last question for today. Yep. Let's try to do this question. Let's say that we got x bracket 5x plus 12 is equal to negative 5. First thing, we need to make it look like ax square plus bx plus c. So to do that, what should we do? Let's open that bracket and tell that negative 5 to go to other side as a positive 5. Now, if I open this bracket, x times 5x, that will be 5x square. X times 12, that will be a 12x. This negative 5 will come to other side as a positive 5 equals to 0. Now this side nobody is there, that means it's a 0 is there. Yeah. Now something special happened. Can we straight away start the complete square process? No. Because why? There is a number in front of x square. So let's ask this number in front of x square, which is 5, to come out. So when the 5 comes out, yeah, what we will have inside the x square? We will have a x square, inside here, yeah, we will have a x square. Then 5 times what is 12? Actually, like we divided by 5, that will be a 12 over 5x plus 1, and that's equal to 0. And then let's quickly get it done. So 5 bracket, yeah, x square comes down as a x. The plus 12 over 5 will come down as half of it, which will be a plus 6 over 5. As soon as you do it, you close the bracket, you put a square and a minus. And square of 6 over 5 will be a 36 over 25. And then rather than writing 1, what we will write it as? Maybe let's write it as plus 25 over 25. Yeah, and the bracket close. Here we go.